Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. Kunal, the Nifty Bank is doing fairly well for itself today, and it's holding up, and along with it, it's aiding the Nifty 50 index as well. In particular, HDFC holding up very well, 1% higher, and Kotak 3% higher. What do you make of these moves? Because okay, HDFC Bank fine, 1%, but the 3% on Kotak is really standing out today.
Yeah, that's the standout part for the banking index today, and it's good to see Kotak Bank, I think, trying to make a comeback of sorts, because it was a stock which had a very high potential. It showed those potentials, I think, many times in 2025. I think, if I'm not wrong, just about in the month of February or March, the stock had come back to closer to the life high levels of 2250, 2300 thereabouts, then slipped back towards 2000, 2100 kind of a zone. So it tested this range of 2200-ish odd almost 3 or 4 times, if I'm not wrong, in 2025. And it's good to see that the stock is trying to make one more dash or an attempt. We've been making this point that the large cap or rather the private sector banking names, specifically are set to go into an outperforming spree over the near to medium term. So I think in that sense, it's good to see Kotak Bank trying to lead the charge from the front. And it's also aided HDFC Bank, which was a drag yesterday, if you remember. So I think that's also another sign that the markets are trying to show signs of fresh leadership. Kotak Bank, I think on the short-term charts, if it manages to break past about the previous multiple resistances around the 2200, 2250 odd range, then we could be looking at a very strong and a significant bout of momentum coming into the stock. So good prospects potentially for Kotak Bank in the near to medium term.
And what of the move on HDFC?
Yeah, so I think today's move is also an indicator that the stock is again trying to make or challenge that 1000 levels. But the only problem or concern with HDFC Bank is the diverse nature of the stock price. It can go into a phase of a patchy consolidation for itself. 1000 is where I would be more comfortable in looking to maybe go for a breakout trade on HDFC Bank. It's still I think 2% lower from the current levels, from those breakout levels. So I think I would probably wait for that 1020 to be taken out for HDFC Bank. That's where I would believe momentum would probably try and be very, very quick on the stock in the near term.
Okay. The auto index is also standing out, Kunal. And within that auto pack, I'm just going to try to pull out names which are really standing out. And yeah, Samvardhana, 3%, Bharat Forge, 1.5%, Ashok Leyland also 1.5%. Any of these names on your radar as a result of the kind of move that we're seeing today?
So yeah, Motherson is something which looks attractive at current levels. Again, in the last 4-5 days, the stock had shown good resilience, I would say. It did not succumb into the kind of market volatility. Yes, there were intraday corrections, but the stock more or less floated around the 115 to 170 kind of a pivot range for Motherson Sumi. So that's a stock which I think on the short-term charts could now try to make a good comeback. Maruti, on the other hand, I think that's an interesting name because I believe on the short to medium term charts, the stock is showing signs of a potential breakout yet again from the 16,000, 16,200 kind of a range. It's been a brilliant performer when we look at this from the last 4-5 months, from the August breakout point, I think around the 11,000, 11,200 mark for Maruti. From there on, the stock has recovered almost 50%, moved into that 16,000 plus kind of a zone, consolidated for the last 1 or 2 months. But now I think could be probably set for another round of upside. So that's another large cap name on the auto pack, which I'll be bullish on.
What about the Adani Enterprises stock? That move of 3.2% today stands out for you, Kunal?
Yeah, this could be a very interesting move because the stock literally sandwiched itself into a trading range, 2200, 2250 mark for Adani Enterprise. And you last 6 odd days for the stock price, it was just like one day up, one day down, and trading into this 50-60 point band, quite in a very volatile kind of a manner for the last 6 odd trading sessions. But it's good to see that the stock is trying to make a comeback, breaking past about this 50-60 point range, and that too I think on the back of slightly higher volumes which have started to happen for Adani Enterprise in the last half an hour, last 1 hour. So potentially that could mean that the stock is now coming out of this volatile phase, forming a bottom for itself, and now could have maybe a more smoother journey on the upside and not a very volatile kind of a move.
Okay. I'm gonna quickly pull up the stock chart of Indigo and try and see what's happening there. These are some of the big movers in the last few days, right, viewers? So therefore, let's try and see what's happening here. Indigo, Keynes Tech. There you go, third of a percent lower. Really, no move on Indigo at least. What about Keynes? Well, 3.6% higher on a Keynes. Kunal, very quickly, your view on these two.
See, I think I've been maintaining this over the last couple of days, Harsh, that Interglobe Aviation, I think, should stagnate around the 4800 mark, plus minus 200 to 50 odd point band for itself. Today also, I think the stock managed to take a bounce back from this 4650 levels, which is the range which I've been talking of, the lower side, and on the higher side 5100ish is where I would believe that the stock could face resistance. So I think one has to be a little bit more ready that the stock may probably enter into this phase where the volatility may drop down and the stock may consolidate.
Okay, and what are the other stocks in focus? Biocon, let's pull that one up, see what's playing out over there, because we spoke with the management of Biocon, and there you go, around 0.4% higher on a Biocon. Now the chairperson and the managing director, Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, explains its biosimilars consolidation, calling it earnings accretive, essential for long-term scale. With capex done and R&D costs easing, the company is sharpening focus on its insulin, GLP-1 bets, and a pipeline as major biologics approach patent expiry. Let's listen into a slice of the conversation Ayesha had with the management.
The biosimilars business will clearly drive a major part of our growth because this is a evolving space and the number of biosimilars coming off patent are only increasing, and we are well in the leadership position. So I think we will obviously focus on building on this early success. But I think what is complementary to what we have done is the fact that GLP-1s are also becoming a huge segment, which everyone is very rapidly and increasingly pursuing. But again, we believe we have a unique proposition to offer because we have the only company globally to have interchangeable biosimilar insulins and generic GLP-1s as a portfolio. So again, we believe we will have a very strong competitive edge. So I think over time you will start recognizing these strengths that we are now basically sharing with you. And it was all these parameters and factors that basically enabled us to come to this decision of creating one entity, a combined entity of Biocon and biologics, which will really give us that leadership and sustained leadership in the marketplace.